Hi, Rock and Roll Daycare. It is Barb. It's Tuesday, and that means it's our Tuesday training tools day. Ooh, I'm having a hard time speaking in the beginning of this video. Um, I hope everyone is having a great start to their week, and I'm really excited to wrap up on our final Tuesday of March and talk about the last week of the prepared adult, which are what we're studying is you as an educator and helping to deepen your understanding of yourself, of your practice, what it means, what it's going to mean, so on and so forth. So it's an extremely important part of of our training, of our ongoing training, and one of my personal favorites because I think it's so important that we, like I say, week after week, that we carve out this time for you to think about yourselves and have that reflection. Um, I know I say it a lot, but teachers are the most important part of our program. We can have the most expensive materials, we can have the nicest classrooms, we can have everything set up. But if our teachers aren't taken care of, or if you aren't, practicing ongoing professional development and feeling confident in your skills and abilities in the classroom, none of that comes together. And that's why we take this time on our Tuesday training tools as an organization to help support this development and help guide it and let you know that, we are here for you. And not only do we care for you, we have the utmost respect for all of you for all the important work that you do each and every day in the classrooms. So, like I said, really excited for this last week and having this time to study this with you all. So let's see, what are we going to talk about today? We have our Tuesday training tools here. Let's see. View. Okay, cool. March 2021. Here we are. So today we're going to talk a lot about our mindset, okay? Because I was kind of reviewing the month and how did I want to wrap it up? It's such an important topic. Like, what do I want to end on? What do I want to focus on to leave you with that last, thought of when we talk about the prepared adult. Prepared adult. Wow, I am really struggling with words today. Prepared adult until we talk about it, again in the next 6 months. Okay. And what I've realized is that we've done a lot of acknowledgement this month. We focused on where am I in my career journey? Am I a new teacher? Am I an old teacher? What does that mean for my classroom or home environment? And having that acknowledgement there to help guide you in the further process of your teacher journey. We did some goal setting. We did some ta-da lists where we looked at our accomplishments to make sure we were feeling satisfied and recognizing all the wonderful things we're doing throughout our days and how important they are. And then we talked about the teacher work cycle. So we're always like remembering that we're not, we don't ever come to a place where we're not observing and reflecting and adjusting, right? We're always looking at things from an angle of how could I be doing it better to suit the children or my classroom or myself, and always just having that rotation of that thought so that you're never feeling stuck. Because when we feel stuck, then that's when we run into some other issues within our classrooms or home environments. Okay. And as I was thinking about all those topics that we discussed, what I really want to end on was our mindset. And I think this is maybe something a little specific to this year in general. And I know, again, I've referenced this, that we're coming on a year, or now we're past a year anniversary of this global pandemic. And it's been a year and it's so hard. And I think what makes it more difficult is that this year in particular, there were so many things that we didn't have control of. We did not have control that a global pandemic was going to take over our lives and how that was going to impact how we set up our classrooms and guide the children and social distancing and all that extra stress that has been intertwined in our daily lives, in both our personal lives and our lives as educators. And it's affected a lot. I mean, how can it not, right? And it's created more stress and, less ideal working environments and And again, like I said, that's universal across all schools, probably all work environments. No one really chose this, and this isn't the ideal. And that's hard, and that can be really frustrating, and that can really send you into a rut of like, oh gosh, maybe this is not for me, this is not what I expected, so on and so forth. Okay. But why I want to focus on our mindset today is because our mind is an extremely powerful tool, because it truly controls everything. Um, and if while we can't really, while we can't control what's going on around us, we can control how we react to it. And I wanted to spend some time going over some steps of how we can do this that hopefully can help you through a hard day. Because if it can help you through a hard day, that's going to help your children through a hard day. It's going to help your classroom through a hard day, and your overall your school community. So our mind and our mindset and our thoughts are really powerful in guiding how we're going to approach every situation, whether it be stressful or not, and our every interaction within our day. And if we can have a clearer mindset, we're able to serve the children, in a more genuine and authentic way, maybe with some more patience, and just, again, just a clearer mindset. So what I want to do is, when we acknowledge our thought process and we can get to the root of where these thoughts are coming from, and then we're able to better guide and support and have a more positive and be in a more positive, productive place. So let's walk through this and see what this is all about. Okay. So I want to talk about thought distortion. And I got this from a book that I'm going to reference at the end. And I really liked this when I was reading through this book a while ago, because I I personally tend to do this, and I think a lot of educators do, because we're emotional people and we care so much about what we do that we can kind of get into our own thoughts, and that they can kind of get mixed up and be telling us different signals, which then affect the way, again, we are, our presence is in the classroom. All right. So one example is mind reading. So you assume you know what people are thinking. An example might be, oh, that parent doesn't care about their child. You think you know that, you're assuming that, but maybe it's not true. Your thoughts are telling you that based on some observation. Okay. Another thought distortion is fortune telling. So you're predicting the future and you're thinking things will get worse. Oh, my co-teacher's out today. Oh, this is just going to be a terrible day. You're already predicting the future, so that thought is already out there. But it's not the reality. Another thought distortion is when you're personalizing something, when you're blaming yourself for negative events. So the example is, the children are misbehaving because I'm a bad teacher. This is my fault. It's a reflection on what my abilities are. Okay, so again, that thought is going to get in the way of how you want to be serving the children, because you're going to be blaming yourself for every negative event. And that's not healthy. Or overgeneralizing. You come to an overall conclusion about a person or a situation based on a single event. So, oh, these children they never clean up, or this child always hits, or this child never listens. Well, when you have that thought in your head, guess how you're going to react to it or respond to it, or support it, if you're overgeneralizing things like that all the time. How about the shoulds? So you interpret events based on how you think things should be, rather than focusing on how they actually are. He should be able to write his name by now. That co-teacher should know what the routine is because I've told her a bunch of times. Or that parent should remember this, or whatever it is. If you're interpreting those things based on how you think things should be, rather than focusing how they actually are, you're never going to be able to properly support what's actually happening, because again, those thoughts are getting in the way. And then emotional reasoning. So you're letting your feelings guide the interpretation of reality. I feel useless, so I know I'm a bad teacher. Ooh, God, that's a hard one. I don't like that one. So again, getting, those feelings that are just, really getting in the way of what is actually happening. Okay, so those are a few examples. Okay, so why are we highlighting these thought distortions? What's the purpose of it? Okay, And why do we focus on what we're thinking? Well, if you think about it, our thoughts and our emotions and our behaviors are all linked together so tightly. So an overly negative thought directly fuels unmanageable feelings of stress and unproductive reactions to any situation that's at hand. So that negative thought is then fueling how you're handling what's happening in your classroom. So think of we're going to have an exercise where we do this, but think of anything in your classroom. And if things are getting stressful and you already have all these thought distortions going on, it's fueling even more of a unsuccessful way of how we're going to handle it, because those thoughts are already there. And that's where this like feeling of burnout and this like negative cycle can really come in sometimes, if we're not focusing on our thoughts or understanding the root of where these thoughts are coming from, to help support them or guide them in a more positive way. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of break it down on how we reframe these challenging thoughts so they can become more negative. So first, what I want you to do is identify your negative thought. So maybe that negative thought's like you're walking into work that day, you had a really bad morning, kids are crying, bad parent drop off, whatever it is, and you're just thinking, this is going to be a hard day. God, it's going to be a hard day. It's Monday. I don't like that's Monday already. I didn't even get that much rest over the weekend. It's a hard day. So there's your thought. There's your negative thought. Okay. Then I want you to think of evidence you have that makes the thought true. Okay, so I kind of put this on the first one. But what is making it a bad day? Okay, so you had the bad morning, like I said. Children are making a mess. They're not settling in. There's children crying. Maybe there's that angry parent at drop off. That's the evidence. That's what's telling you, yep, this is why it's not going to be a good day. Bad day. This is why. Then I want you to think of evidence that makes the statement false. Okay, so think about those things. If you're thinking it's going to be a bad day, well, the reality is you can't see into the future. So you actually don't know what the day is going to be like, So instead of thinking it's going to be a bad day, and you have the evidence of crying children, a bad parent drop off, kids making a mess, they're not settling in, okay? You can have a thought process, sometimes my mornings are hard, but then the day gets better. Okay. So because I can't say that the whole day is going to be bad just based on how the day started, because I can't see into the future. My thoughts can make me think the whole day is going to be bad because of what happened in the immediate, when I first got to school. But the reality is I can't see into the future. So I'm going to reframe that and say, sometimes my mornings are hard, but then it can get better. Oops. And then we are going to, sorry, this is block here, create a more balanced thought. That's going to be your final step of when we're thinking about reframing challenging or negative thoughts, okay? So the morning was hard, but that does not mean the whole day will be hard. I can handle this, and I can get the children ready to go outside. Sometimes just a transition throughout the day can really be, can help you turn a corner and just something clicks and it ends up not being a completely terrible day. Do we sometimes have days that are just completely terrible and fall apart? Yes, but we don't have to, it doesn't always have to be that way. If we can just take some time to reframe it and just say, if I can get to the next transition, if I can get my second cup of coffee, if I can, ask my director for 10 minutes so I can just get a breath, whatever it is, okay, then you can remember it's a more balanced thought versus a really just negative one that's going to drive your energy all day. Okay. See, so here's what I want you to do. I really want you to try this out. Okay, try using the steps on one of your own negative thoughts. And what this is going to help you do is it's going to help you move forward to create healthier emotional regulation as an adult. We talk about this a lot about the child. And we talk so much about how we support their emotional regulations, the things we can do, and we have to be calm. It's like, well, guess what? We need to practice it too. This isn't something that you either have it or you don't. All days are different. All circumstances are different. And in a already high stress, situation where we're in COVID for a year and a global pandemic, healthier emotional regulation doesn't come as easy, and that's okay. But as you know, if we can practice it and again, be more aware of it and get to the root of what's happening and kind of take that step of reframing, then you're going to become more, you'll be more calm and restored as educators. And then you're able to bring your best to the children, like I said earlier. So it's all about this self-talk of what's going on in your own head. And I want to be clear that I'm not saying we shouldn't have negative thoughts. That's really not the goal here. The reality is we have negative thoughts. We all do. We're not trying to pretend like, stressful things aren't happening, or we're not trying to neglect any of that. But what happens is that if it's only negative thoughts, those are compounded and they don't usually help to solve anything. And if there's one, thought from all of this, from anything that you take away from this month, is just to remember that we are in it together and we are all trying to do our best. So if you're finding that these negative thoughts are just really taking over, please use these really simple steps to help, change that and reframe that and get to a place where you are solving anything that may be bringing you stress, or just something that's a little more causing more trouble during the day, because that's what we really want to try to get to. And it starts with the simple thought and the mindset and how we're going to approach things, because again, we can't always control what's going to happen, but we can help to work towards controlling how we react to it. And I'm hoping that these steps will help you get there as an educator, again, both in the home and the classroom environments. So I hope you try it out. I hope you share it with a co-teacher or another educator, or program specialist or director, or write it down somewhere. And maybe this isn't even something that you do for the classroom. Maybe it's something that you just do in general. I think, like I said, our minds are our most powerful tool of how, our outlook and, anything. So again, just try it out. Take some time to reflect. This is to help you. This is to help support you. This is just to help you be, the best educator that you can be. And that's what we want. So then you feel that peace and that joy in the classrooms that we're all striving for. So if you have any questions at all, you know that we are here to answer anything, any follow-ups you may have. I can't thank you enough for engaging in these Tuesday training tools. Always, appreciate you engaging in them, but mostly this month because it is about you. So thank you again for all your work that you do each and every day. You are all just amazing, and I hope you acknowledge in yourself just all the incredible work you do with our children, and take pride and joy in that. So I will see you next time. It'll be a new month with a new theme, which I can't wait to dive into. And any other questions, just let us know. I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.